Hi, I'm Gary Engler, your socialist grandfather. In this episode of Economic Democracy or No Democracy, an anti oligarchy manifesto, I offer a simple list of ways to spot those who want to divide and thus keep us conquered. First, though, an introduction. People who desire a better, inclusive, democratic, racism free world can achieve their goals, but only if we understand the forces working against us. The most important of which is that every system of minority rule requires some form of dividing to conquer the majority. This was true of colonial conquests and remains true in today's neoliberal capitalism. This doesn't mean that 21st century capitalism uses the same forms of racism as 19th century British colonialism in India or the segregated American South. Racism has progressed along with the needs of capitalists and evolving technology in an ever changing economy. Sometimes it is less direct, more subtle. Laws and systems rhetoric may even condemn racism, but that doesn't mean the minority who rules don't benefit from its continued existence. Racism is too intertwined with the rise of capitalism to imagine its complete abandonment as a tool for super exploitation and as an ongoing means of divide and conquer. Racism, along with misogyny, remain common organizing tools of far right political movements that wealthy people pour money into. The targets of that racism may shift depending on who exactly they deem our enemies to be, but there will continue to be targets of dehumanization that war and minority rule requires. Therefore, economic democracy must build a coalition that includes a powerful anti racist component. People who have learned to question capitalism through their struggle against racism are our natural allies. We must help people understand the point of racism and how it is used to keep minority rule in place. Billionaires, their sycophants, and politicians they have purchased use it to divide and conquer, along with misogyny and various forms of fear of others, to prevent us from uniting around policies that would threaten their wealth and power. In order for us to build an economic democracy, we must become aware of and then overcome the divide and conquer tactics of those who prefer rule by wealthy over real economic democracy. Here's a simple, short, easy to understand list of signs to look for. I call it my top 10 giveaways that a politician actually supports minority rule. You know a politician is a supporter of minority rule if they support ever more military spending. They say we can't afford anything that actually makes lives easier. They support tax cuts for the wealthy. They try to make you angry at vulnerable people such as refugees, addicts, minorities, transgendered people, and refugees. They want to cut back programs that aim to help the weak and powerless. They don't want schools to teach about social problems like racism. In the name of equality, they are against affirmative action. They use the words our economy needs They use the words, don't interfere with the free market. Billionaires give them money. That's a real dead giveaway. Beware. Don't trust these people. They are not on our side. They may pretend to be your friend, but they are not. They are doing what supporters of minority rule have always done: divide us to conquer. They will use our division to keep the rich and powerful in power.